What's up, tubers? It's your boy Ichi, and I've got a little change of location. I'm sitting at the kitchen table, kind of going old school with you guys here to do this how-to on the Scuf mod. As you can see, I've got a lot of stuff laid out here. I'm going to go over everything in this particular video that you'll need to do the Scuf mod for the Ps4 controller. In the next video, I will actually start doing the mod, and then we should finish it up in about 2 videos. It's not too bad, but the contact points that you'll see are really tiny, so that's the only thing. So you do need moderate soldering experience to do this, I think. Otherwise, you might be in a little trouble. So please attempt this at your own risk and just be very careful with your $60 controller. Let's start, and I'll show you what all I've got here to work with. As you can see, we've got a soldering iron which is sticking out like a sore thumb. You'll definitely need one of those. You don't need one that's got all this stuff built into it. You can buy a cheaper one, but I will tell you a higher output soldering iron makes all the difference in the world. And on the top, I have, as you can see here, some tip cleaner, and I just basically will pop the top off of that, and once my iron gets hot, I'll re-tin the tip with that. So that's very nice. There's a sponge in here also that I like to wet down, and I can just tap off excess solder and other stuff that gets on the iron, as you'll see as I go through. So that won't be an issue. I use an X-Acto kit. You don't necessarily have to have an X-Acto kit, but you need something in order to scrape the carbon or whatever it is off the actual points that you'll be soldering to, because they do have some sort of residue on top that will make the solder initially not stick. So you need to scrape it down so you can get a good contact. You will need a glue gun so you can actually glue down the points that you make, because they are very tiny and very fragile. So you'll definitely need a glue gun. I picked this one up for like $4 with glue at Walmart. That's pretty much all you need, and this is one of those cases where less is definitely more. You will need a drill. I'm using one that's AC drill. You don't have to use one that plugs into the wall. You can use one battery operated, whatever you want to do, but I'm just using this one because as long as the power's on in my house, I've got power to the drill, and I didn't want to mess around. Got a couple of momentary switches right here, and you have to excuse me guys, I'm navigating the chair and the tripod. Got a couple of momentary switches. I wanted to go big and little this time. I know on my orange Scuf I went for all big, but excuse me, all little, but this time I wanted to change things up a little bit on my glow in the dark controller, and I want my knife button to be more prevalent than my jumping button, and I wanted to make sure that I could easily feel the difference between the two. So that's what I'm going to do here, and this one will be my knifing button and this one will be my jumping button, and they're both momentary switches. You can pick these up at Radio Shack. You can get, I want to say 4 of these small ones in a pack for like $5, and you can get 2 of those for I think $6. I'll try to find these and put a link to them in the description if you're interested. You obviously need a Ps4 controller. I've already started marking on this one. As you can see where there's a little black dot here, it's probably, yeah, you can see it pretty pronounced right there. But what I normally tend to do is I like to put my buttons in the back of the controller first, make sure I have the fitment right, then I go from there. Because at the end of the day, you got to be able to hold this controller and have a comfortable fit. Otherwise, this mod or any mod just doesn't make any sense. So, buttons, back of the controller, you obviously need a board, a PCB board to work with. Now, in my case, the controller's already taken apart. I have videos on my channel. You can search them. I'll link one in the description. I'll probably put one on the screen right now so that you guys will have an opportunity to see what it is that I did to take this thing apart. It's not difficult, but it's different than the PS3 controller, so you may want to watch that video a couple times before you attempt to crack up your controller. Otherwise, you may break something. Totally up to you again. We've also got here's the glue that came with the glue gun, some solder, and please buy decent solder, decent grade solder. This is just some standard stuff, but it's really good stuff. See how easily it's bendable? I don't have to do anything. I can wrap this around and it melts really good, and it sticks to the tip really good, and it's just really good solder, and you can find that pretty much anywhere. I don't buy the Walmart stuff. I tend to go to an electrical store or to, say, a Radio Shack and get my solder, because it's just better stuff than what they have in Walmart. Here's the wire that I use for most of my stuff. This is a 30 gauge wire. I got 100 feet of it, and there's the model number R30R-0100, and it's like a Kynar, I want to say is the actual name of it, wire, but it works really well. See how thin it is? It is tiny stuff, but it works well for these kinds of applications. So definitely, if you can find a 30 gauge wire, you should be in good shape. Excuse me. You will also need some drill bits, and I've got the ones that I'm going to use in my case already laid out, but drill bits are drill bits are drill bits. Just make sure they're good and sharp and that they can cut, and you shouldn't have any issues. I've got a Sharpie because I will definitely be needing that for marking my different points that I'm going to be drilling into. Again, guys, you want to measure twice, cut once. Please do not tear your controller up and make excess holes that you have to fill with glue, or that you have to bondo or do something to try to fill. Measure right the first time, and if you don't like it, measure again and measure again until you think you've got it. Then make your decision on your cut. Trust me, you'll have a cleaner product and you'll be happier for it. I've also got a pair of dikes right here that I used to cut wire with, and they are called dikes, and you can pick those up pretty much anywhere. Hardware, automotive, you name it. They're relatively cheap, $2-3 bucks, and you're good to go. The last thing that I didn't show you guys is my flashlight, and this one is super bright LED light, and I use this when I'm getting deep down in here and I'm trying to look at points to make sure that I've got the point that I'm looking for. That's what this particular flashlight is for. Works well so I don't make a mistake, because you definitely don't want to scratch off the wrong points when you're trying to find a contact, because you can really tear your controller up. You scratch across or do something crazy, you can tear things up. So this is one of those situations where you definitely want to take your time, be careful, and again, everything should work out for you. So I think that I've talked to you about everything that's here, and this is video 1. If you've got any questions, please let me know. This is all the grocery list, if you will, to do your Scuf for the PS4. If you've got everything and all of your stuff works and you're a pretty good solder person, this mod will probably take you somewhere around 15 to 18 minutes. It just really depends, because you definitely want to do a little bit of checking before you reassemble your controller. It's up to you again, but I like to make sure I check, because I hate to put something back together then have to tear it back down. That's all I got for this one, guys. I went a little longer than I wanted to. We're at a little over 7 minutes, but feel free to comment. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to get ready to get right into the build, so I'll see you in a second.